can need it on Monday. And you'll know this from some of the employees that you work
So my
alongside.
favourite thing to do, especially now it's dark, is if you're leaving here at about 7 o'clock, just look over the road and you'll see how many lights are still on in the offices. Over there, the game studios, and
That's great, measured with Protos, the new immersive lab, and all the businesses here. You can see their work to deadlines, so much of this work is global.
Yeah.
So you think I've got a deadline, it's midnight, but it's 8 AM in California.
Yeah.
Nothing more aren't that demanding.
Yeah.
Are they? Can be.
So want it round?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So going back to the ideas and the projects that we've put forward, as said with Lewis, as you were saying, he only needs a small team to pull this off. We were going to ask whether you wanted to try and make one large project or make 2 smaller projects. Just maybe one for training and one for just outside, or maybe just making one that includes everything. The only thing is if we're making 2 separate projects, we're going to have to split the group in 2 to try and get them both done at the same time. But that's just down to you which ideas you choose and how you want to go about it really. So, that can be discussed at a later date. The other one is if there's anything very specific you want in each project. So if there's anything that we've discussed that you might want to put in yourself. For example, as you were saying, with a lot more training and how all the pipes in the ground affects in other areas. Say if you want to talk about the actual plant itself as well, adding stuff like that in, just so then we can get a larger sort of knowledge.
I think listening to what Sophie's already said, and this would be more from an intern on us point of view. You think commercially, there's a benefit here for training staff within an organisation. So from a commercial point of view, you should be thinking about how can my solution help and enable Northumbrian Water to have less health and safety incidents, more people ready to work far quicker than maybe. That's a commercial. So when you think beyond here, that's an opportunity for you to make money in an organisation. And then there's the longer term, the community involvement that Northumbrian will have with younger people, STEM subjects, the more gamification, real gaming side. To me, there's coming through 2 very clear, slightly different approaches. And I think it's sometimes quite nice to have 2 very distinct, coming at 2 different angles to give a client the widest thought process as possible to see the benefit of this type of technology. So I'm speaking from my point of view, that might be different from client. But that's what I would really hone in on.
In 2, you mean 2 individual?
Not necessarily 2 individual, because you could take the gamification approach to a game. Let's say yours, which was the pump. You can make that quite fun. With exploding pipes left, right and centre that would appeal to a young person. But then at the same time have the mindset of, well actually I can take this to a different level and think of someone who's going to actually be working with pipes, pumps as their job, and the impact of using that properly, as Sophie said, in a safe environment to understand the consequences of actions, which is at a different level. So you're getting...
And it doesn't have to be just because it's training people at work, it can still be fun. But there's the serious messages coming through.
Balance of entertainment and functionality.
And I don't know whether that's doing that within one project or taking 2.
An opportunity to do a little bit of rapid prototyping, where you can get a few sort of interactive ideas and then present them back again. That might be an easy way of working that out. So you could spend just a short amount of time getting some ideas together with some working prototypes.
I think what I said to everyone beforehand, it's a classic case when sometimes with a client as big an organisation like Northumbrian Water, Sophie, she doesn't know what she doesn't know.
I definitely don't know what I do. I have never played games, and certainly all your job titles, they were never job titles like that when I was at college, so you need to assume I don't know anything, because that's probably the case.
Yeah. And actually, there was a careers event here last night. We had 350 parents, 120 pre-GCSE students coming, and we just talked to them about the options you have. So, and you've been through this already, but I went off script as I did, and I just said to ask the parents, what have these jobs all got in common? iOS developer, cloud service specialist, sustainability manager, Uber driver, something else. I can't remember what the other one was. The answer was 5 or 10 years ago, those things didn't exist. And actually, it's a really good point that Sophie makes there. You're pitching to a different age demographic, who I think it's right to assume, as Sophie says, haven't got a Scooby-Doo what you're talking about in terms of the technology. So the challenge for you sometimes is to convert that technological discussion into language I understand, and we understand.
I think that's where, certainly from my career, and I've worked with quite a lot of technical people over the years, that is a really, really valuable skill. If you're able to talk technical in a way that somebody that doesn't understand anything about your technology can understand, that can get you a very long way.
That's why we have the Trello, is that's why we want everyone in, because everything we do is on there, and then we want to base everything like properly of everything that we've done, like even dates and stuff like that. So you will be able to follow along with us as well, so you know exactly what we're doing, and you can always add stuff to that as well if you want anything that we want on. So we want to, like, that's why we want to work closely, so that we all understand what's going on and who's going to be doing what.
And I know what Trello is because we've started to use it at work. I didn't even know what Trello was.
And we can use
6 months ago. And when I looked at it, I thought, oh my word, how on earth do I use this? So that's the level I'm at.
But when we've worked with employers in the digital sector, what do you think is their single biggest skills gap? And every creative company, digital company, Sage, Accenture, Hedgehog Labs, what do you think the biggest skill gap is? Temp job. Communication? Yes, exactly that. They've got developers they can throw a stick at. What they're looking for is technical sales people who are going out to see a Sophie. If you took out someone who's, well, we can do a Java, iOS, cloud, what's that? Seriously, what is that? I haven't got a clue. I just want, and there's as Sophie's a client here, I want to improve the health and safety of my workforce. I want to improve training. Talk to me like this. Here just happens to be a solution. We've listened to you. We keep listening to you. This is what we've developed. In some respects, don't need to know the wiring behind the scenes of how you very cleverly have developed that. You might find someone in who comes along with Sophie who does want to know all that. That's fine, you're talking at that level. But to get through the door to talk to a client, you need to understand who the client is, training manager, workforce development manager, know all the wiring stuff. Are you meeting the requirements of that training manager or workforce development manager? Sorry, we're talking around, so you're prompting a lot of those.
That's all I thought.
It's all valuable stuff.
Good.
We've got 2 more questions left. One of them is the use of Dwayne Pipe. If we'll be allowed to take the mascot and use them for our games, just having the rights to use it, basically.
I can certainly find it.
And the last one is just the product that we create for Northumbrian Water. Would we then be able to use that for our portfolios and CVs to then move on with our own careers as well? Just to show that we've actually had experience in the workplace, dealing with a client, taking it to a professional area and showing it off, basically, if it would be allowed to do.
I'm sure you will be able to. We'll need to think about some of the detail of stuff that we show you, but we can tell you what's okay and what's not. So I don't think it'd be
I think from our point of view, what we'll do is put some sort of non-disclosure agreement in place. So that means it's a very closed environment, and whatever the client allows us to do, we'll respond to that. I'm sure there won't be any issue to say, even if it was so great and potentially this is commercialised by Northumbrian Water and taken off, or at least we will probably be able to say we've worked on a major project with, sure we can work around that.
Just to add into that, regarding the Dwayne Pipe, if possible, if you've got any brand guidelines that we need to follow, if you could send that across, that would
probably any overall branding guidelines for things like use of the logo, the corporate colours, fonts, anything really to keep with the company image and make sure everything's on the same sort of brand.
Good question.
So the last thing is just if you have any questions to ask us as a team or anything, then now's the time to just get what you want to ask us.
Just to go back to your third from last question on those specific aspects, the other thing that would be good is for it to feel realistic enough so that people can see it relate. So if you're thinking we're training our people, that they feel it's realistic enough, not that it's absolutely perfect, but they can relate what they're playing to real life.
So I've seen Alex at New Gen.
Yeah.
So part of his business now is an ex-student who set up his own business, and one of the, I'll talk at our level because I've got no idea what the technology is, but you can go onto a website and walk around the hotel, and it allows you to, it is real, the hotel. So I've seen it, he's done it here with those cameras that you pop up, and so it actually is more real rather than what looks like a computer generated. It's the actual hotel, and as you walk, which room do I want, and I'll walk through, and at a point you can book, is it available? So he's doing that. So I think the point that Sophie makes, how can we do that maybe without doing that? Can we get to overlay real images, or I'm not sure, maybe
They've actually, you're in a room actually.
We
That's
can
big.
do that if it's VR, because I did it with Apple. We used some of their images and then we put it into VR.
What do you want to show them?
Yeah.
That's probably
Oh,
better.
yeah.
Rather than try and describe
But they're not real
actually.
images, they were
We
artistic
just
images, but you
happen
can.
to have some VR
We
games.
do Atmore ones because they were commissioned.
But that's a really important point, because when you talk about yours, Lucy, isn't it? Lucy? Alison, sorry. Lucy was in France, so was last night. Alison, so your pitch is very much for, you can imagine 6-7-year-olds, and a gamification, that sounds perfect. But for an older person, it's that visualising, actually, so when I do go into the real fixing pipes, it's so similar.
So the visual style shouldn't be cartoony or exaggerated. It should be based around real. Even if it's not photographic, it should be based around realism.
Yeah.
So correctish proportions, correctish sort of colours, and
Yeah, and this is where I don't know what I don't know, but I would have thought, I mean, if a cartoon looks real, something like that you could make look real enough, couldn't you?
Yeah,
If it
well,
was-
Just to give you a quick bit of background, so Atom Hawk are a design company that are based in the Northern Design Centre, and they work with likes of Marvel and Disney and Star Wars, and quite a big deal. And we were having a conversation with them, and they came up with this concept for the Realm, which was like a game set about 1,000 years from now. Sort of, I don't know what's
That's Bridge.
Yeah, on the stage.
It's based in the Northeast, that's what they were asking us to do. So
Post-apocalyptic Northeast.
So they went around and they sort of basically recreated the Northeast, but it's many years after humanity was sort of gone in a way, and so when it's been reclaimed by nature. And it was kind of a pet project they did, so it was like the Time Bridge and the Quayside and things. There, and they had all these artworks, they didn't actually go forward with it as a game, and they'd set themselves a very modest £22 million green light, and they didn't quite get there. So they were like, well, we've been in shape.
It's the largest Kickstarter, wasn't it?
I know it's the largest Kickstarter ever. They were just like, let's see if we can just crowdsource 22 million quid. So they didn't quite meet that target. So they were like, well, we've got all this artwork we did, which is not going to waste at all, but can these guys do something with it? Like, it was going to the Exhibition of the North. So they used this theme in some of the artwork, and I know Kia and Keenan created some virtual examples of it. So I don't know if you want to see.
All right, so you transpose that into the VR
Yeah, we
world.
used the
Yeah.
artwork that they did and we put it into the world and just modified it.
So a very simple way, is that programming to do that?
Yeah, that's the VR stuff that we use in Unreal Engine 4.
The game engine.
Right. The sits behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The engine's basically the software we used to build these games.
Okay.
We used to create the primary.
It's like the backbone of the whole
The
thing.
backbone,
is what
yes.
we use.
Okay.
This last night, I just swapped the HDMI.
This one here is Kia's.
Who's on it?
Yes, Kia's.
Oh, that's cool.
Hold please, we're just having mild technical difficulties.
It's VR.
That's, well, I think so. It's up to you. You'll be able to, you can either, if you want to go, you can have a look through a headset. If not, anything that's being viewed will also appear on the screen as well. So.
Just a quick question, because we heard that we might be going over to your place to have a look at all the stuff, and wondering if like we need to take like photos and stuff like, so we need to know like the layout and stuff, but like everything that goes on there, so research basically helps build the game up. Also, if you want a realistic environment, that might help as well. So
I'm sure we'll be able to take photos. They may be your thing, you're not able to take
Yes.
photos,
Yeah.
but we'll make sure that you can.
I know there was some talk about maybe going to the control room. I think that will be out of bounds,
Right.
which is basically a control room. What to tell is where things are controlled. But in terms of depends which route Sophie might want to pursue.
Yeah.
But if it's a pipes game or a treatment works, there might be some very bland imagery to take that's not of high security, because most of the treatment works particularly are strategically important, so we can't, they're hidden. You won't know where they all are around the region because they're deliberately out of the way.
that's on the table by the way. So that's not post it. That's on the
They're
table.
all on time, they are.
Oh, I know. Ours is really just
Oh,
anyway,
it's
so.
the 6 months turn off.
No. Well, so it's up to you if you want to have a go. No, so basically, it's just like putting a diagram mask on, I suppose. So, can you see anything?
Oh, it's just done that. 2 seconds, sorry.
That's alright.
It should be in a nice living room. And right, you'll now be in kind of like a So this is sort of this was Kia's response. So those giant monster things in the background, they were artwork provided, but so you can sort of see sort of the environment going basically. So you could be.
So again, of course, this is 360 as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So
You
Yeah.
can look up, down.
You can look straight up, straight down,
The trick is,
get a real sense of environment.
the trick is all this art, the actual models, they're not real, they're actually just 2D art, but made to look on a 3D scale. So they're not, so they're basically flat images in terms of the inside the game, but you can't tell it because of how it's been layered.
Well,
Yeah.
So, but that's just because in this case they were producing a 2D animation. They just wanted to do it effectively in a 3D space. So instead, it could be 3D objects in there. It doesn't have to. It can be more realistic than this, or
Can
cartoon.
we just grab the breakout area one to see the
It's really,
photogrammetry model?
see, that just blows my mind. I wouldn't have a clue where to start.
So, to be fair, anyone else,
yeah,
these
last
guys
year's the
are
first time we did VR.
amazing.
Yeah, the first experience.
So, just thinking as well, yours is a bit horror.
Yeah.
Is there anything on here that we've done with the actual building, the walk through a building?
Yes, we do. Do we have that? Jack?
from upstairs. I'll give you a second.
It's the one where it's like this room, because it was quite interesting. These guys, this is the second time they've been in this room, but the first time physically. Because a couple of years ago, we sent out our students with laser range finders, and they mapped the inside of the buildings and then created a virtual model of the building. So it's an exact replica, like I think it's down to millimetre scale accuracy. And you guys have seen that before, because it was it you, Kia, that came in and was like, oh, it's the room from the game. And we're like, yes, it is.
Oh, right.
So they've not actually physically been in here, but they've seen it in VR. So they recognise this staircase. So
I was
we
thinking,
can go quite realistic, or we can go not quite.
funnily enough, another one of our current students at the time happened to be Alex.
Yes.
Who would have been aware of that going on. I
Yeah, he would have
wonder
been, yeah.
if that might have been part of his inspiration for his business.
So,
Because that's the other thing we've mapped our we're in the process of mapping our sites,
yeah.
so that when I go see an employer, we'd love you to send your apprentices to our engineering centre. Well, there's nothing better than actually, would you like to look at it? So we can talk, we can stick these on. I mean, as you said, John's gone, we won't have to force you to put these on in the future. There'll be other technology coming down the line, probably is already. Where what's available now?
Currently, the current ones are going to be wireless. There's a new one that's come out now. John, there's a new one, isn't there? That's the wireless.
The Oculus Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically going to get rid of, imagine getting rid of everything there but the headset.
So,
And that's
Was
what
that the
makes
one
it-
that
like
was
what
big?
you've got, yeah.
like this.
Oh, so it'll just be that.
So this is what
so when we move to that.
So it's just a
This one requires a phone, but the new one won't.
Right. Okay.
So where the one you just saw there was very much about trying to make 2D animation with VR. This was more about trying to make something that looks realistic, but will run on a mobile device.
Yeah.
So you can walk around with this. You could just give these to people and say, go check it out.
I just think for the team as well, I keep coming back to sort of the cultural challenge you've got. In some respects, the technical bit's the easy bit. You're all smart enough to design and develop whatever Sophie and or any client would like. But then imagine it's sitting it on a 49-year-old man who's being retrained from 30 years worth of understanding to fix pipes. You're going to give him what? A pair of goggles? You take. So how are you going to overcome that? I think don't lose sight of that. That's the heart and minds, is what I call the very difficult, intangible stuff in any project, because it is as much about convincing the client, but then the user. You're all familiar with this. This is second nature to you. You think nothing of putting this technology on your body to have a look at it, sort of stuff. But for people like me, who are going to be working until a lot longer than maybe we used to think we were. Yes. So you think now of forward-thinking businesses like Northern Water who are considering how to train people, and the cost to train people is significant. So this is a really
So this one, this
cost-effective
could
way to
be
do it.
part of your control room. It could be. You don't even have to stand up for this one. You can either use the straps or just hold it in your hand. And there is a controller to go with it.
Right.
So what you do with the controller is there's a button for your thumb.
Right.
And all you do is point. If you move the controller towards your face, you'll never see that you have a hand.
I do, yes.
And if you click, I'll just move your thumb upside. If you click here, and then
Right.
when you let go, there'll be a circle. And wherever you let go is where you land. It's like a teleporter.
Okay.
So the circle is where you're going to be. And when you let go, you'll suddenly jump there, and it'll be a bit disconcerting, but when you look around, you'll find you're in a new position. And this is actually part of our college. This is one of our
Is this
breakout
inside-
areas.
is this
This is the
inside-
breakout area, the project there.
Yes.
that we did.
Yes.
Go into the police